Hi, this is Joe Delamater with the law firm of Razumich and Delamater, here to talk to you today about how to get back your Indiana driver's license. Now, real briefly, before we start, go ahead and click the link below. You'll find links to be able to download our books and papers on a variety of topics because it gives us an opportunity to go more in depth into these topics than we can in these videos. So, you're checking this out because you either have some kind of suspended license or are otherwise prevented from driving in Indiana. Now, the very easiest thing and the first thing that you're going to do to help yourself out is take a minute right now and go to the MyBMV website. Go ahead and pause it. I'll wait. MyBMV is Indiana's Bureau of Motor Vehicles website where you can plug in your identifying information and they will give you a free copy of your Indiana driver's license record. While you're looking at it, you'll note some of the records are in bold. Those are your active driver's license suspensions. First, identify the ones where in the column that it says end of suspension, it says indefinite. I want to focus on those because those are the ones that you can fix by yourself and you don't have to hire a lawyer for. An indefinite suspension means that there's something keeping you suspended that you can fix just by simply doing it. More often than not, it's either an unpaid traffic ticket or you missed a court date. Either one of those will lead to an indefinite suspension until you fix it, but it's so easy to fix. Because go ahead and find that immediate suspension and then go over to the left a little bit where it shows what the offense is, and there will be a court cause number and there will be a phone number. Call, ask them, say, hey, what's this suspension? Give them the cause number. And they'll say, oh, you owe $176 in old costs. No problem, right? That's something you could fix on your own. Or maybe you just simply have to appear in court. You probably never got the notice to begin with, and that's okay. You'll be able to get it resolved, you're not going to be arrested, and you'll just merely get it taken care of. Now, for those ones where there's an actual finite end date to your suspension, those are the ones that become just a little bit more complicated and why you might need to hire an expert attorney in the areas of traffic law. So, what happens is there are ways that we can get you back on the road. If you have an active suspension, we can get you what's called now a specialized driving privilege. It used to be called a hardship license, but a few years ago Indiana changed the laws and went ahead and gave it a new fancy name. But it's the same practical effect, which is you can drive while your license is suspended, but there are restrictions. You can only drive to and from work, medical appointments, things for the kids because the kids can't drive themselves around, what I call the necessities in life. Anything outside of that, for leisure, going to the bar, hanging out with friends, that's not going to happen, and you'll need to rely on somebody else's transportation for that. And that's okay, because at the end of the day, the most important thing is, can you get back to work? Can you get to those doctor's appointments? The specialized driving privileges are relatively easy to get, and in the vast majority of all of Indiana's 92 counties, they will grant them without much of a fuss. There are some counties where that's simply not the case, and it will be very difficult to get you back on the road. That's another reason why it's important to consult with us, because we know those counties, we know those problematic ones, and we can tell you whether it's worthwhile to spend your money. So what goes into it? We draft a petition for that SDP, the specialized driving privileges. That petition has to be done very specifically and it gets filed with the court. Now, one of the things to keep in mind is that if there's a cause number listed next to your suspension on your BMV record, that means it's a court-ordered suspension. That means we have to go back to that court that issued that suspension to request your specialized driving privileges. Otherwise, we file in the county in which you reside. So if it's a BMV penalty because you had too many stops for not having insurance while driving a vehicle, those will get you a series of suspension penalties, but we can get those just merely by filing in the county in which you reside. The other thing is, maybe you are a habitual traffic violator. Maybe you lost your license for life. We can get it back. The threshold is, have you been on your lifetime suspension for 10 years? If so, we may be able to get that lifetime suspension rescinded. We've done it before. The only thing we have to do is show the court why you deserve it. If you're not within those 10 years, but you are still on a lifetime suspension, those SDPs still apply to you. The only thing to consider is if you're on a very short suspension like 3 months, you might not want to get the SDP because you need one of those at a minimum of 6 months. If you have a 1-month suspension, you're not going to want to go ahead and put yourself on restricted privileges for 6 months. So these are all practical pieces of information, all food for thought in determining how the heck can I get my driver's license back in Indiana. And I hope it's helpful for you. Give us a call, because at Razumich and Delamater, we're focused on giving you the quality service that you deserve. We're lawyers ready to fight, and I'd like to fight for you.